And hello, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv, Bowles.television, coming to you live Monday through Friday, high noon, Eastern. And don't forget the weekends with the sweet Jana Marie, 11 a.m. Eastern, as she shares stories from her life and the wonder of American Sign Language and communication and working with the disabled, and all kinds of really super neat stuff. Excuse me. I have all the windows open because it's nice and cool, but also it makes the air very dry. And if you're not like me for humidity, you want to be around 50%, 30 to 50% humidity. We're at 10% all over, which means static electricity, which means coughing and clearing your throat. But what can you do? The windows are open. You can't, boil water because it just goes out. So for about 3 weeks in October, if you're lucky, you can have the windows open. It helps if it rains. That raises the humidity inside very nicely. And then you just have to try to suffer. Meh. And suffering is the way of the human condition, which is what we discuss here on Bowles.tv. Well, I'm looking at myself over here on my Apple television. And again, my YouTube is very behind. So I can't really watch myself because it's still showing the opening. I've been here chatting with you. And sometimes it gets like 2 or 3 minutes behind. So if someone is watching this live stream on YouTube and hoping to, join the chat, they're going to be chatting about things that are 2 to 3 minutes old. So that's unfortunate, So I'm going to Twitch on the Apple TV, so I can, there I am, watch my beautiful self with my red shirt. So trying to figure out, where we're going from here and how things work. It's always a wonder. They're doing a lot of construction just outside our window. So the windows are open, and all morning, starting at 7 a.m., they have been pounding footings into the earth. And Jersey City is built on bedrock, so sometimes there's, explosions going on, TNT, as they're blowing up the bedrock, and then the pounding of metal against the earth. And it just shakes everything. It's very annoying. But right now, it's off. They're working on something else. They're having lunch, I guess, right? Probably. That's a good reason. From 7 to, 11, they were pounding. We used to stream at 9 a.m. to 11, and we would have been pounding for 2 hours. Now maybe they'll only pound for the last hour of the show. It will be interesting. Let me see what's going on here. Have a lot of interesting things going on with AI art. It's sort of our new thing here. And AI art that becomes NFTs, and traditional NFT artists sort of have a problem with that, which I don't really understand, but I'm happy to entertain their concerns, to try to see what it is that is concerning them about what's going on. Now, it looks like we have lost one of our streams, which is very interesting. Let me count the ways we are streaming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But on our stream thing, it says we only have 7. It's because of that crazy... Yeah. It's because of that crazy LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't really support our multi-channel chat. I don't know why. But I'm happy we're still moving forward, pressing forward, and making things happen. So, let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it, shall we? He said... If there's one thing I am online, I use my name. I don't use pseudonyms anywhere online. I am who I am. I am what I am. And what I am is an illusion. No, not really. Not that show. So I am myself. I am very aware of not being rude or cruel to people. That doesn't mean you can't have a conversation. I don't troll people. I don't make fun of them. I don't curse. I'm a goody two-shoes, as the kids say. And on my social media, my three main prongs, Twitter, Facebook, used to be Instagram, I post interesting thoughts, quotes. I don't fight with anybody. Usually, lately, the last month, I've been posting my artwork created with the assistance of my AI machines. And I get this yesterday afternoon. This from Instagram. It makes me so furious. So I posted on Twitter, not on Facebook. I can't get into Instagram anymore. This is the notice I got yesterday afternoon from Instagram. Hey. We suspended your account on October 17, 2022. There are 30 days remaining to disagree with this decision. What does it mean? Your account or activity on it doesn't follow our community guidelines. Your account is not visible to people on Instagram, and you can't even use it. What can I do? If you think we made a mistake, you have 30 days after we suspended your account to disagree with a decision, or your account will be permanently disabled. Now and forever. There are 30 days remaining for you, dear kind sir. So let me tell you what's wrong with this. First of all, Instagram is losing many people to TikTok. Instagram is not popular anymore. Instagram's trying to make big changes. People don't like Instagram. I'm on Instagram infrequently because it's really just people showing pictures of stuff. You can't really have an interesting conversation. It's not threaded conversation. My Instagram account, Bowles Books, is super basic. There's no conversation. I think I have 400 followers and I'm following 200 people. It's not a big account. It's my smallest, tiniest social media account. I post nothing that's obnoxious there, nothing that is offensive that would offend their tender community guidelines. Nothing. Now, earlier that day on the 17th, I went in and updated my profile pic and added some photographs, NFTs, images I created. And in my bio, I tried to add the URL for our Discord server, which is discord.gg/BOLES. And I immediately got an error message from Instagram saying you are not allowed to post a URL in your bio. So, okay, I didn't know. So I clicked save and they wouldn't save it. Got that error message, went back. Instagram had defaulted to the bio that I created. So I went in there and fixed my bio because it had the old information about this live stream. So I updated that, saved it. Everything was fine. And then a few hours later, I get this freaking thing. Ugly thing. We suspended your account. Well, it can't be because of the link in the bio, because they fixed that immediately. They would not allow it. So it never appeared in public. Now here's the problem with this error message. It means absolutely nothing. They don't tell you what the violation is. They don't explain the process for getting your account back. And you do some research on the internet and they say when you get this message, you're not getting your account back. They don't want you anymore. You're out. Instagram has canceled you. So you click on disagree with the decision, and I clicked on that, right? And the next thing that happened, hey, it's Donna. Good morning, David. Stay warm. Thank you, Donna. It's a little cold here, but we're okay. So I click on this, disagree with the decision, and it takes you to a little page that says, put in your phone number so we can SMS you. I guess to see if you're a real person. I don't know. So I put in my phone number, got back a code, right? So I put in my code, and then nothing happens. He said, we'll let you know if we decide to let you back in. Maybe in a day, maybe 2 days. I think it said a day, 24 hours. You have to wait 24 hours. They don't explain why, for what. They don't explain why I had to do my SMS verification. And then you do a little more research with these messages you get from Instagram that are cryptic and ghostly. And people say, oh, they say, a day, but it's really a month. You dispute. It takes, 2 months to get back if they decide to let you back in. They might not. And so I'm thinking all day, and now with you, thinking, why am I listening to this? Why am I even a part of Instagram? What is wrong with their hatred of their users that they would treat us in this way? I have done absolutely nothing wrong, out of the ordinary on my account. And this is my beautiful account today. They have absolutely obliterated me from Instagram. And as I said on Twitter, it makes me have poisonous blood for them. Sorry, Bowles Books, a page that's been up, I think, for at least 10 years. This page isn't available. And there's some people I actually talk to, family, friends, who only are on Instagram. So I guess I'll have to find them if I know how to get a hold of them and try to say, hey, we're not on Instagram anymore. I really have no plans to go back. Why would I? Sorry, this page isn't available. Hey, the link you followed may be broken, or the page may have been removed. Go back to Instagram. So if people wonder, oh gosh, I wonder why Instagram is losing all these people while they're so unpopular, where they used to be the hot new kid on the block, now they're blocking people who have been supporting them for many years. It's absolutely infuriating. And it really creates bad emotion, bad feelings, fury, rage against the dying light. A light that used to be known as Instagram, but has now been taken over by the exploding star, TikTok. Instagram, may you rest in peace, and take my Bowles Books account along with you. Thank you. Well, that's one rave. Up for the day. Now we're going to talk about this wonderful, fabulous news that should make us all happy and content. Cheaper hearing aids hit stores today. That was yesterday. Available for over-the-counter for the very first time. Now, this is really fantastic news. Here's even really crummy ones can cost, $2,500 per ear. That's $5,000. Some insurance covers it, some doesn't. If you want the really, really good hearing aids that, have like remote control and are connected to your TV, those are like $5,000 for each ear. And finally, the federal government got involved and said, now, wait a minute. That's ridiculous. Why can't we just, sell hearing aids over the counter like we do toothbrushes? Why do they have to cost $5,000 per ear? Well, this is what's happening now. It's starting to open up. Today, Americans can buy cheaper hearing aids for mild to moderate hearing loss without a prescription from a range of common retailers, including Walgreens, CVS, and Walmart, finally making the critical health devices more affordable and accessible to the estimated 28.8 million adults who need a hearing aid. The FDA estimates the change could lower the average cost of obtaining a hearing aid by as much as $3,000. I mean, $3,000 off the top still probably leaves you with $2,000. That's still a lot of money. As of yesterday, Walgreens is selling an over-the-counter model similar to the hearing aids that range from $2,000 to $8,000 per pair at specialty retailers for just, $799 per pair on its shelves. Now that is really fantastic. $800 for 2 hearing aids. Likewise, Walmart said that as of today, it's selling over-the-counter hearing aids ranging from $199 to $1,000 per pair, which are comparable to prescription-based hearing aids priced between $4,000 and $5,000. Fantastic. Big news, it's taken too long. In the past, the barriers to hearing aids were high for many Americans. They required a medical team and a medical exam for patients to obtain prescription or to be fitted by an audiologist. The Hearing Industry Association, a trade group that represents hearing aid manufacturers, previously worked to undermine the effectiveness of new over-the-counter devices, according to a congressional investigation. Though HIA now says it supports the rule, it still pushes for people to seek specialty care for diagnosing hearing impairments and fitting and using devices. And I know I have friends. For many years, you just can't, walk into a hearing aid place, try them on, get tested, go home. Oh, no. First, you have to see the doctor, the medical doctor, and pay that bill and see if you have any obstructions in your ear and meow, meow, meow. You're not going to get hearing aids today. You have to see the doctor first. And then once the doctor clears you, then you'll see an audiologist who will give you an audiology exam, a professional. Does the audiologist use sign language if you're deaf? Probably not. But they want to be an audiology. But they don't want to be able to communicate with their patients, consumers, participants. And sometimes if you knew a guy who happened to be a seller of hearing aids, and maybe he was deaf or in the deaf community, you could just pop over to his place. He might put an ear mold in, put in an order for you, no doctors, no audiologist. Just give me the hearing aids. Here's the money, just let me have it. So you could do that. Sort of a gray market area. Well, today you don't have to. Today you can walk into Walmart, say, I'll take those hearing aids, give it back to me. In the past, barriers to hearing aids were high for many Americans. They required a medical exam for patients to obtain a prescription or to be fitted by an audiologist. Just what I told you. So hearing loss is unique to each person. The Hearing Loss Association of America, a consumer advocacy group, provides a tip sheet on who might consider an over-the-counter hearing aid and what features to look for when buying one. Tips for the latter include looking for generous return policies, convenient connectivity, adjustable amplification, water and sweat resistance, and a long-lasting or rechargeable battery. Now, the rechargeable battery is really nice because the way it is now, you have these little teeny tiny batteries that maybe last a couple, 3 days of continuous use. And then they die and you have to replace them. It's very expensive and not very environmentally safe and sound. So now it's time to take our very first break of the day. And when we return, we will discuss Joe Pilates isn't dead yet. And if you don't know who Joe Pilates is, you're going to find out in a minute. Back in a moment. And hey, we're back here on Bowles.tv. Oh, it's Bowles.television. I'm David Bowles, and we're here noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. So we had a lovely rant about the terrible people at Instagram and how they just cut people off. I think I'm going to make that into a podcast episode and post it today. Look for that wherever you get your podcast episodes. And let's say they let me back. I'll go back. Will I post anything? I don't know. Why would I? They don't tell me what the violation was. You're accused with no way out. Makes me furious. So if you are an exercise fiend, freak, an Apple Plus TV viewer, Apple Workouts Plus, whatever it's called, Apple Fitness Plus, Pilates, Pilates is a big part of that, and a big part of staying healthy and doing well in your life. And several years ago, there was this big hullabaloo, muckety-muck, about Joe Pilates. This is Joe right here. And after he died, he was very old but very active late into his life. He created this exercise system and these machines to make a body thin, tall, relatively speaking, and lean and very strong. It's a very lean, strong body that is created with Pilates. And you can pretty much just do it all on your own. You don't need to have these machines like the reformer or the chair, right? And after he died, there was this big thing, lawsuits, about the word Pilates, which was his last name. There were some people who represented his estate or his interest after his death saying, no. You can't call your workout place, home studio, where you have clients, Pilates. That's trademarked. It's his name. It's who he is. You can license it from us for a certain amount of money, but you are forbidden to call that exercise routine Pilates. And there was a big lawsuit and it went on for many years. And it turns out the court said, hey, Pilates is, after all this time, generic enough. It's in the same idea as yoga. So you cannot prevent people from saying, I am a Pilates instructor. It's a big decision. So here, there are beautiful photographs of Joe Pilates. There he is, Joseph Pilates, standing. Takes a student through his exercise program in an undated photo. So here we go, the fight for the soul of Pilates. Joe Pilates, not dead yet. They're still arguing over his, not dead body, but his very alive philosophy of exercise. Joe Pilates believed he created an exercise program that would stand the test of time, and it has, and contribute to the well-being of anyone who practices seriously. And while Pilates continued to grow in popularity 55 years after his death, many of its devotees are far from content as they quarrel over his legacy. Well, isn't that just great? And this was posted recently. This is a recent article from October 14, a few days ago. The fight started on social media more than a year ago and has since moved to federal court. At issue is who has the right to share certain vintage photographs of the barrel-chested Mr. Pilates, who died in 1967 at the age of 83, as well as key materials related to his highly specific teachings. On one side of the dispute is Sean Gallagher, a physical therapist who runs a Pilates teacher training business. He says he is the rightful owner of the copyright to more than 1,000 photographs that once belonged to Mr. Pilates and his wife Clara, as well as a trove of flyers, manuscripts, 8mm films, and other material. Mr. Gallagher's supporters describe him as a careful steward of the Pilates founder's teachings and public image. So this is Sean Gallagher, okay? Now, I can tell you right now, that doesn't look like a Pilates body to me. Because when you do Pilates, you're very well instructed to work on your core, and you would not have a bulging stomach like that. Now, maybe there's something physically wrong with him. Maybe he's ill, but the musculature and the toning of his arms, he's not a Pilates regular practicer. Opponents to Sean include Pilates instructors who say that Mr. Gallagher has unfairly stemmed the flow of Pilates-related materials, much of which can be found online, by lodging complaints about their posting images on social media and threatening or filing lawsuits. In some cases, Meta, the parent company of Instagram and the Facebook, has shut down the Instagram accounts of people who have been the subject of Mr. Gallagher's complaints. I'm not one of them. I have not posted anything about Joseph Pilates. That's not why they killed my account. I have no idea why. Heather Erdman, a Pilates instructor and studio owner in Houston, was one of the people whose Instagram accounts were taken down. She said she wanted to share pictures of Mr. Pilates in action with her followers because there was no substitute for showing how the method's founder executed his moves, how he put his hand and where he put his foot and where he was looking are very important details to us. And she's right. In February, Mr. Gallagher filed a copyright infringement and unfair competition lawsuit against Mary Sullivan Kelly, the owner of True Pilates, Boston, a studio in Newton, Mass., claiming that she had used materials owned by him and his company, Richtone Design Group, to market her business without his permission. He cited 2 images shared by Miss Kelly on social media. Miss Kelly, who declined to comment for this article, filed a countersuit, arguing Mr. Gallagher did not hold the copyrights to the photographs in question. Both lawsuits are pending. So, what in the world is going on? How will this ever be fixed? Who owns the right to Joe Pilates? And there is Joe Pilates. I guess the New York Times must have paid Mr. Gallagher for this image. Does it say who owns the... I.C. Rappaport, I guess, is the... Joseph Pilates was limber in his 80s as a teenager. And there he is, in his workout outfit, with his Joe Pilates body, completely fabulous. There's Sean Gallagher again, complaining. Who owns what? Why we own each other? What's going to happen? A Meta woman declined to comment on the specifics of the flag post and deleted accounts as described in this article. Of course. Victoria Batha-Cuomo, who teaches Pilates in New York City and Montauk, New York, is another instructor at odds with Mr. Gallagher. Last year, she posted an image on her Instagram account, the Pilates Snob, of a contact sheet showing Mr. Pilates demonstrating his moves. The next day, she said Instagram informed her that a report had been filed by Mr. Gallagher accusing her of copyright infringement. And of course, the company removed her post. When she then shared a screenshot of the notice of Instagram that included a thumbnail rendering of the flagged image, Mr. Gallagher reported her to Instagram again. The social network removed that post as well. Miss Cuomo then started an online project, Pilates History Month, to share information about Pilates. Last fall, she conducted an interview on Instagram Live with Mr. Edelman, the defendant in Mr. Gallagher's failed 1996 lawsuit. They discussed the case as well as a flyer created by Mr. Pilates in 1943 that showed a woman demonstrating his around-the-clock exercise. Ms. Cuomo found an image of the flyer online and posted a screenshot. Hey! A month later, she received a notice from Instagram that Mr. Gallagher had reported her again, and Instagram permanently shut down her account. Well, at least they gave her several tries before they shut her down. They shut me down with no notice and no reason. If you don't have a presence on Instagram and Facebook in the world of fitness, what good are you? So here she is. What's she going to do? It's going to be a big mess. Last fall, Christina Gator, a Pilates instructor in Sarasota, Florida, planned a post on Instagram and a photo that showed her recreating Mr. Pilates around the clock flyer. Because she knew of Mr. Gallagher's disagreements with other Pilates instructors, she informed him of her plan in an email. And he replied she was not allowed to post an image inspired by the vintage flyer unless she entered into a licensing agreement with him. She replied that she would do so if he provided her with proof that he held the copyright to the flyer. Fair. That is where the correspondence came to an end. Mr. Gallagher said he had not registered a copyright for the Around the Clock flyer, but said he had possession of the plate it was printed from, which he believes makes him the copyright holder. Soon after her exchange with Mr. Gallagher, Miss Gator, 47, received notice from, hey, our old friend, Instagram, that 3 of her older posts had been flagged by him as copyright violations. One of them showed the cover of Mr. Gallagher's book, which Miss Gator told her followers was one of her favorite Pilates resources. Instagram the posts. It felt like petty harassment. Unbowed, she made an Instagram video of herself in vintage leotard as she did the moves shown in Around the Clock flyer. Each day since then, for more than a year, she has posted a video of herself demonstrating Pilates exercises. Mr. Gallagher said he is considering suing Miss Gator for violating his copyright to Mr. Pilates choreography. In that case, he would need to sue everyone on the internet for doing Pilates, Ms. Gator said. So far, Mr. Gallagher has sued only Miss Kelly of True Pilates of Boston, who had 2 Instagram accounts taken down after her posts were flagged by Mr. Gallagher. When she was notified by Meta that the second of her accounts had been removed after complaints from Mr. Gallagher, she clicked the box to indicate she questioned the validity of his copyright claim. Mr. Gallagher said Meta informed him that it would restore Mrs. Kelly's account unless he took legal action to assert his ownership of the images she had posted. That is when he sued her. Her account remained closed after he filed the lawsuit. Miss Kelly is being represented by Gordon Trey against Gallagher's claims from 2 decades ago. I guess that's the guy who said you can't teach Pilates from 2 decades ago. That sounds about right. There's Joe Pilates again. As the suit filed by Mr. Gallagher and the countersuit filed by Miss Kelly move forward toward a trial date, Miss Gallagher has been trying to build a Pilates center on a property in the Berkshires. It was once owned by Mr. and Mrs. Pilates, which he bought for about $120,000 in 1998. The compound studio has pieces of vintage Pilates equipment on display, as well as Mr. Pilates's. This is the New York Times. Now, come on now. You don't put an apostrophe S when the name or the word ends with an S. Ugh. As well as Mr. Pilates' long wooden skis. Mr. Gallagher has been assisted in his renovation of the property by Pilates instructors who travel there for so-called volunteer days. It's hard to know what Mr. Pilates himself would make of the disputes over his life's work. He wanted the whole world to do contrology and have wanted them to use photography to help facilitate that. Said John Howard Steele, 87, one of the founder students and the author of Caged Lion, Joe Pilates and His Legacy. But he also tried to keep a tight grip on his work. Fascinating. Where are you going to go? How are you going to make this work? It's a big, unfortunate mess. I don't know how any of this is going to work out. I certainly hope that everything is going to be okay, because Pilates is really very wonderful. It's a terrific way to improve your health, your strength, and just you resculpt how your body looks with Pilates. Now it's time for our next break. And we are going to be talking about, late onset schizophrenia. Sounds like an interesting topic. It can be a heartbreaking topic. But if you learn something in the process, it can be a good and positive thing. Returning in just a moment. And hey, we're back. This is Bowls.tv. Hey, it's BOLES, not television. It's BOLES.tv. Monday through Friday, high noon Eastern. Well, schizophrenia is a very interesting sort of condition. I don't want to call it a disease. It's a situation that mentally affects a lot of people. Schizophrenia usually presents itself early in a life, 17, 18. However, schizophrenia can also be late onset. So perhaps you're predestined to have schizophrenia, or genetically you are exposed to the possibility of having schizophrenia, and so it may stay hidden or dormant until later in life when something, somehow, a triggering event, an emotional reality, changes the person and the schizophrenia is triggered. So the most interesting part for me is this late onset schizophrenia that can hit people between the ages 40, 50, 60 years old, where that's when it presents itself. Not at 17, but 50 years later. It's an interesting, fascinating phenomenon. What is the typical age of onset for schizophrenia? Men and women are equally likely to get this brain disorder, but guys tend to get it slightly earlier. On average, men are diagnosed in their late teens to early 20s. Women tend to get diagnosed in their late 20s to early 30s. People rarely develop schizophrenia before they're 12 or after they're 40. So adolescence, and it usually is not quickly determined that someone has schizophrenia because it can be hard to analyze. What are the early warning signs of schizophrenia? Schizophrenia can be hard to diagnose for a few reasons. One is that people with the disorder don't realize they are ill, so they're unlikely to go to a doctor for help. It's usually people around them who say, "Are you okay? Are you seeing things? Are you hearing things?" And then maybe that's where the first step begins to be taken. Another issue is that many of the changes leading up to the schizophrenia, called the prodrome, can mirror other normal life changes. For example, a teen who's developing the illness might drop their group of friends and take up with new friends. They may also have trouble sleeping, excuse me, or suddenly start coming home with poor grades. So how many people have schizophrenia? Well, about 3.5 million in the United States are diagnosed. It affects about 1.1% of the world's population. Here are the characteristics. Schizophrenia is a syndrome. People with schizophrenia have several types of symptoms. Hallucinations. You hear voices or see or smell things that others say are not there. Some people see ghosts. Some people see friends from the past. Some people see buildings. Some people may smell cookies, a fire burning that nobody else smells or sees. The voices might criticize or threaten you. They might tell you to do things that you otherwise would not do. Delusions You believe things that aren't there, even when others show you proof or share facts that explain why your beliefs are wrong. Delusions can seem bizarre to other people. For example, you might think that the TV is sending you special messages, or that the radio is broadcasting your thoughts for everyone to hear. You might also feel paranoid and believe that others are trying to harm you. Thought disorders. You might have trouble organizing your thoughts, and you might speak in a way that's hard for others to understand. Perhaps you stop talking in the middle of a thought because you feel like it's been taken out of your head. This is called thought withdrawal. Another type of disordered thinking, called thought blocking, happens when someone has a sudden stopping of their flow of thinking, and as a consequence, they may become silent until a new thought enters their mind. Movement disorders. You might move your body over and over again as if you're upset, or you might stop moving and responding. Doctors call this catatonia. Negative symptoms. Maybe you speak in a dull, flat tone, have trouble following through, lack interest in your daily life, and find it hard to keep relationships. You might appear to be depressed. But while sadness, tearfulness, and other symptoms point to depression, so-called negative symptoms more likely point to a problem with the way that the brain is operating. So, late onset schizophrenia. Schizophrenia can develop later in life. Late onset schizophrenia is diagnosed after a person is 45 years old. People who have it are more likely to have symptoms like delusions and hallucinations. They're less likely to have negative symptoms, disorganized thoughts, impaired learning, or trouble understanding information. Doctors think genetics may be to blame, just as it is with early onset schizophrenia. They also think late onset might be a subtype that doesn't affect the person until the right trigger appears. People with cognitive, vision, or hearing problems, or those who are suspicious, isolated, or reclusive, may be more likely to get it. And it appears that if you have schizophrenia, one of the easiest ways to try to treat the problem is by delaying the effects through careful medication. And we've known people throughout our life who have been diagnosed as schizophrenic, and it's a very hard diagnosis. There was one study that I read from several years ago that said that schizophrenia was genetic, and that older fathers and young mothers, older men having babies with young women, if the father was like over 70 or something like that, that the risk of schizophrenia in the child was progressively higher. I don't know what happened with that study, if it was borne out to be true and verifiable in other studies, but it sure was fascinating. That the age of the father, I guess the age, the mobility, the viability of the sperm can somehow affect the schizophrenia in the child. So, I did my Apple Watch Ultra review last week. I love the thing. It's got a big screen, and if you can't see very well, that's exactly what you want on a watch. Is something big, messy, hard to overlook. Totally fabulous. Would I want my employer tracking me with my Apple Watch, seeing if I'm actually there. Am I in the room? Are you working? Are you typing enough? Is your Apple Watch recording your typing? Here we go. JBS, Tyson Foods. Invest in smartwatch app that monitors workers. Two of America's largest meat packing companies, slaughterhouses, JBS and Tyson Foods, have invested in a smartwatch application that allows managers to monitor workers' movements. The investments signal that big meat companies could follow in the footsteps of other industries, that have increased surveillance in an attempt to improve worker productivity. You're not killing the animals fast enough. Cut them up quicker, please. We're timing you on your smartwatch. Amazon, in particular, has come under fire for using tracking technology to speed production so much so that, at least in some cases, its delivery drivers have not had time for bathroom breaks. They're peeing in their trucks. Urine everywhere. That's true of most delivery drivers, unfortunately. Because where are you going to go to the bathroom? There are not a lot of places. You go in there to deliver to a big building. Hey, can I use your bathroom? No. I've seen that happen. And the drivers are like, wow. What are you going to do? You go into the back of your truck and you pee into a bottle. Our hypothesis is that if you have implemented good, safe methods for the workers, they are going to be productive as well. What we demonstrate to our customers is that, hey, we fix your training and safety concerns, and your workforce is happier, more productive, and more efficient. Hey, it's Janet Marie, peeing in trucks, poor people, I know. And what happens a lot is that the guys pee in their trucks into a bottle. They hide the bottle because they don't want people seeing it. They don't want it rolling around in the truck while they're delivering. And then at the end of their shift, they forget to throw away the bottle of pee. So the next guy goes in there and there's this giant bottle of urine waiting for them. It's a very sad thing. And sometimes they have to do number 2 in the back of their truck. And they have to do number 2 into a paper bag and find some place to throw it away. Tyson Ventures of Tyson Foods was one of the initial funders of this wearable app. Safety wearables and analytics will provide us insight into how each employee responds to ergonomic and process changes by digitizing individual worker motion. Oof. Up until now, collecting and analyzing data at the operator level was very challenging. But now we have the ability to improve the health and safety of every single one of our team members. Oh, it's going to be so good for you as we monitor every move you make on a smartwatch app. Oh, it's good for you, not really for us. We're just looking at the data. But for you, it's really good. The smartwatch monitoring app is compatible with the Samsung Watch 4, which uses sensors to constantly collect data on the force, rotation, speed, and directional movement of a worker's arm as they perform the same motion over and over. The AI algorithm then interprets the data to determine if the movement is safe and notifies the worker if they're exerting too much force or speed. The watch feeds information 10 times per second to its AI algorithm, which converts the raw data to metrics, visible not by the worker, but by supervisors on a dashboard. That dashboard not only includes safety metrics, but also an active score, described on the dashboard as a metric of productivity measured by the ratio measured in percentage of intensive action versus mild active motion, and is a measure of individual productivity and engagement. You're not working fast enough. Your watch told us. A representative of United Food and Commercial Workers, the union representing the meatpacking workers, said the organization was not aware of this smartwatch app being used in any of their plants. The union's international administration declined to share the position on AI and digital monitoring in the workplace. We wouldn't allow that, says one union representative. Amazon has been criticized by workers and privacy experts for using AI applications to track employees and discipline or fire them when the app detects underperformance. It's ultimately up to the companies contracting with the smartwatch company to decide if, like Amazon, the technology will be tied to discipline or benefits. If you work faster, if you cut up this animal just a little bit quicker, we'll give you 10 cents. The groups at the highest risk of workplace surveillance are prevalent in meatpacking. Animal slaughtering and processing of workers are more than twice as likely to be immigrants compared to the entire U.S. workforce. Of the foreign-born workers, 70% are non-citizens. People with fewer rights, especially in the workplace, because there's a power imbalance and this huge power difference that's exacerbated by these smartwatches. Monitoring devices using AI algorithms are especially damaging to workers when the employees do not have access to the data that is being collected. And when they don't have the ability to contradict the algorithm, to explain a drop in productivity supervisor, that's a problem. Non-transparency creates a climate of fear. It just creates a sense of paranoia where the feeling is if you're not constantly moving, you might be fired. Of course, that's the whole idea. This is why they're doing it. The software company advertises itself as a solution to the turnover and injuries that have long plagued the meat industry. But workplace monitoring systems do not address the root causes of high turnover, such as low pay, long hours, scarce breaks. If a company turns to an algorithmically driven technology solution for issues that are driven by much deeper structural causes, they might end up in a place where they have not addressed the structural cause, but have now added this layer of surveillance and data collection on top of it, which itself can be stressful and harmful to workers. Oh, there's just no way out of this. And companies have been trying to track their workers for a long time. There used to be keyboard counters. There used to be software that would track your mouse movements. And so, if you weren't moving your mouse, then you weren't at your desk, you weren't doing your job, and so you would be looked at on the monitor or called into the manager's office. Hey, it's Linda Corin. Hey, nice to see you, Linda. And so workers would invent little machines, little devices that would every once in a while move their mouse, making it look like they were at their desk when they weren't at their desk. It's very interesting stuff. So now we're getting into our next topic, which is, as you know, always fascinating to me. And I'm saying it that way because I'm displeased. Oh, I have to log in again. Oh my goodness, I have to do this log in again. Talking about OpenSea. Oh, there's so many silly things going on. And it all upsets me. It's been a rant since we began today. Boing. Okay, now we're in. Meow, meow. Here we go. Ooh. So yesterday I shared my horror story of many of how OpenSea has misplaced about 80 of my NFTs. And I finally heard back from support 24 hours later. So this is one of those support teams that answer you once a day. They make you respond. I responded within 1 minute of getting this email from Amy at OpenSea. Well, what are the collections that are not working? I mean, you go to you see my account, you see where the collections are. So I gave her the links to the collections. She said, give me the hash of the hip hop of the hash. And I said, I'm new to minting NFTs. I'm not new to collecting them. I don't know what you're talking about. The hash. This is all stuff that was minted on OpenSea within the last 24 hours. So I don't understand what you're asking me. And she didn't respond. She said, I look forward to your response. Well, I responded in 60 seconds, Amy. So she's going to answer me probably again, 8:30 tonight, because that's the schedule they're on. I'm used to technical support. Once they contact you, then you can go back and forth a little bit. And fix it, and it's done. But some companies don't like that. They want to stretch it out. They want to make you wait. So I'm still waiting to get my NFTs restored. And I lost them because I was trying to take them from one collection into a new collection. I was trying to organize my NFTs and my digital artwork to be a little bit more coherent. That was a mistake I never should have tried to make, because now nothing's there. You can see some of my stuff I've created. So this is the AI art. Some of it, not all of it. And I have new stuff I want to add, but I'm a little nervous to add it because I'm afraid it's going to disappear. My steampunk fire engine looks so cute, but I have more of them and they're missing. They're not available. I don't know where they are. Very disgusting. Oh, there's my NFT art sale thing from my timer. I do love my American buffalo. Who is not being slaughtered by a band of Lakota Sioux. I love my steampunk tractor, but I've at least 6 of them, and they're all a little bit different. And they're not showing. So here's some interesting news about AI. 101 million for an art AI generator. Not 100 million. That would be blasé. 101 is a headline. The first community-driven open source AI firm announced 101 million in fundraising. Now AI is the way it's going. Machine learning, art. Artists tend say they're upset about it. Artists say they're upset about it. And say that people like me who go on there and feed text prompts into these image creators, machines, are not real artists. We're taking the human out of the artistry. Well, all art since the flickering light of the campfire on the cave wall is imitative and has come before. Art imitates art throughout history. And some people, I guess, are upset that they're being imitated. They are being used as inspiration for new artwork. Well, that's the way it's always been. Lighten up and get with it. So this little article talks about the big boom and the big investment into AI. Another article, AI-generated art is changing the concept of art itself. That's true. You can type in any phrase and it'll spit it out within 30 seconds. A different image that kind of encapsulates what you typed up. They sometimes look a little warped, especially with Mid-Journey. But for DALL-E 2, very hyper-focused and very detailed images that come out of it. And it's exactly what you type out. I've done a lot of work with DALL-E and Mid-Journey, and I don't find that necessarily to be really true. DALL-E likes cartoons, Mid-Journey likes more high-end specific art. They do serve different masters. And it is a trick and a talent to figure out the right phrasing to put into the engine to get back the look and feel that you are expecting. So instead of using pencil on paper or watercolor on a canvas, you're instead using a typewriter, a keyboard to input words into a machine that spits out something dramatically beautiful. The tools have changed, not the intention. A lot of artists are using AI to complement what they're doing. So if someone is really good at drawing figures, but not so good at drawing backgrounds, they can go to DALL-E 2 and could type in a specific thing with the background and then add that to the illustration that they already made and create a fuller image of what they want. Very true. We saw a lot of DALL-E 2 when it was in the beta stage. Specifically, whenever you looked at things like criminal, a lot of the images that would come up would be people of color. DALL-E 2 is an Elon Musk company, by the way. OpenAI. That kind of reinstated that stereotype that's out there, because that racial bias is out there and very prevalent in our society. It is basically just reflecting what's already been a reality to us. What DALL-E had to do was go through their algorithm and tweak it so that it didn't bring back a stereotype. And now we're going to take a very brief break, and we're going to return with more AI wackiness. It's going to be fun, I tell you. We've had a very testing, trying show so far with lots of ranting and some schizophrenia and some other negativity. And now we're going to come back and have fun with AI. Oh, yes. We'll have fun, even if it's against our will. Returning in a moment. Hey, now we're back here on Bowls.tv. It's BOLAS.television. Womp womp. Now, let me see what's going on here with the AI stuff. A lot of fun. It's all coming for you. I think. Yeah. Now, as you know, I hope, on this live stream, we have discussed and shown demonstrations of how to use DALL-E art generator and Midjourney. So today we're going a little different direction with a little not as popular AI generators, and we'll see what kind of art they create. But first, as they say in the biz, let's take a look at what else is going on in the world of AI art. Oh my goodness, here we go. The AI art Halloween nightmare is here. And all this is true. A lot of these AI art things do not do two things very well. They do not do eyes. Eyes are very hard. That's why a lot of them, the initial look will be from behind a person's head, the back of their head, right? So you have to turn them around, use the right phrases, turn them around, get their face. Then you got to work on the face. The eyes are very hard. The second thing that they never really get right are the hands. You'll get 6 hands, 7 hands, curled hands. Very, very interesting stuff. And it's hard to find the right phrase to get them to create the right hands. So this is some of the nightmare. This is we asked AI image generator DALL-E to imagine famous artworks at their spookiest. We wish we hadn't. This is how DALL-E reimagined Grant Wood's American Gothic. And I believe it. See, the faces are just not right. The pitchforks are coming out of their heads. Here we go. I prompted DALL-E to contemplate Andrew Wyeth's Christina's World, but she's hiding from Michael Myers, which it replied with these images. It's actually pretty good for a background. And here we go. Portrait of Dorian Gray, as done by DALL-E. Mona Lisa as the picture. See, the faces are just... The eyes are not right. Hard to do, I guess, in AI. Now that's pretty good. This took a lot of work. This looks like pearl earring. DALL-E image with a prompt, girl with pearl earring as a ghost. Okay, now that's interesting. That's well done. A ghost is not really blue, but just as a piece of art that's a face, that's interesting. Death in the style of Andy Warhol. Okay, ordinary, cheap, a little too easy for me. Not my thing, as they say. DALL-E prompt with Jeff Koons as a scary clown sculpture. Okay, not really. Alex Katz's paintings of Dracula. Okay. Harmonious Bosch Halloween. It's very interesting work. The Birth of Venus is in the mix. And they also don't get words right. Somehow it just decides to take a word and print it, and it's not the word that is there. So why is it taking the word and making it into a word that's not a word? It doesn't make any sense. Here's another article. Bizarre Halloween candy. Courtesy of DALL-E. Again. Best-selling candy in Illinois. Are these cuties? I don't know what those are. photo of the most popular Halloween candy in California. Product photo of the most popular Halloween candy in Colorado. Candy corn, I guess. Product photo of the most popular Halloween candy in Iowa. Product photo of Fun Size Bar, the most popular Halloween candy in Kansas. Okay. More on AI art. More of the same. So, funny, right? Clever. Okay. Here's another article talking about the top 5 free AI art generator websites you should know about. So we might just need to try these out. Mage, Playground AI, Hugging Face, Stable Diffusion, Canvas Text to Image, Wombo Art. So here are a couple that I have been using. This is Starry AI. I have daily credits that I claim. Okay, congrats. 5 credits have been added to your account, young man. Okay, so my creations. Now, this is what I use to describe, judge, as they might say, evaluate, perhaps is a better word, if an AI artwork machine knows what it's doing. And the phrase that I tend to use is, just to see it in one phrase across all artworks, machines, half cat, half monster. Now, some of these AIs, machine learning, can interpret half well. Others have no idea what it means. That's why it's a good test. Half this, half that. Means 50-50. Some of them get very plain and they do half a cat face and half a monster face. You don't want that. Some do it like a mixture. Some just take it as inspiration, as I'll show you. This was my attempt from yesterday. Half monster, half Persian cat. Now this took about a day to finish processing. I have not seen this until just now. When I checked this early this morning and all day yesterday, it was just kind of a white blob on the screen, and there was a message across it that said processing. So maybe they were having problems processing what I was trying to do. And I guess these are iteration images down here. I don't know what that means exactly. Maybe this is the process, I guess, that it used to get here. I don't know what this is. The fur is outstanding. Fur, feathers, a lot of these AI art places have a very hard time rendering fur and feathers. This looks convincingly delightful, I have to say. Is it a monster? It is sort of a monster. I will say it is a monster. Generate animation. Upscale. Upscale for free with Pro. Upscale to 1200 by 12,000 out of 2 credits. 1 credit. Generate animation. Uh-oh. Receive not successful. Status code 400. I don't know what that means. Maybe the upscale failed? We'll come back to that. I guess it's processing. Maybe the upscales failed. I don't know what happened. So here's another one I tried yesterday. This is Wombo, one of the ones that were mentioned. This is half monster, half cat, okay? This is what it came up with. This to me is strange. And this is the second version that I tried. It came up with something weird, and then I said, give me another one, and it gave me this, a 3-legged cat. Untitled artwork, half monster, half cat. I can mint it immediately as an NFT. I can print it as artwork. And maybe I just want to create something new. So maybe I will. So type anything. I'm going to type the same thing. Half monster. Half Persian cat, because Persian cats have a very interesting, immediately recognizable face. And yesterday, I think I tried it in HDR. Do I want realistic? Do I want retrofusion? Do I want comic? No style? Oh, look at all the styles. A lot of the stuff is fantasy. It's interesting. I guess people want fantasy in their imitative art. Steampunk? I'll go with that one. Create. Now it creates my scary cat. I hope. And I think this one is also in the App Store as well. Oh boy. I will generate again. And while that's doing, let's go back to this one and see what happened here. Images, download all, process. I don't know what that means. Maybe something's processing. Download animation. Oh, did I get animation? Let me see if it downloaded. I didn't get a notification on it. It looks like I just downloaded the cat. Oh, download animation. Maybe that's what I need to do. Okay, downloading the animation. Okay, I see it now in my download folder. It's an MP4 file. And the animation is stepping through to get to the final result. Okay. Not sure what I think of that, actually. What if I put it into a browser window? And am I able to show it to you that way? I don't know. Probably not. No, it's not working. All right. So did we upscale this? Let's try upscaling. Oh, we can download it. Okay, we'll download. I guess the 400 error was an error because now we're downloading half of our monster. Let's see if it downloaded. It did download. It's a big picture. Maybe we will use for some things. So that was fun. Maybe we'll create another one with them. Oh, this is our generation of our cat and monster. Oh, this is getting painful. No, we'll come back to that. Now, this is Night Cafe. I have been trying to use them for about a week. I get 5 free credits every day to try to create something interesting. And it just doesn't work. So I'm going to try again. We'll try the most popular text to image creation method. Your text prompt. Monster, half, Persian cat. We're going to add a modifier. We're not going to add anything special. We're just going to create and see what happens. This one tends to take a while. So while that's whiling, this one we have now in a large form. This, yeah. Just keep generating. Oh, now this is interesting. We're getting 4. I don't know why. I don't think we got 4 before, did we? Maybe they've changed the thing. This is all new. They're all doing different things. So now we have 4 images to choose from. Evolve this creation. View your creation. Okay, is any of this half monster, half Persian cat? No. This, in my opinion, is 100% Persian cat. Evolve? This creation currently uses a grid. So which one do we want to evolve? Which one looks more monster-like? I like this one, number 4. Whoops. Just let me evolve here. Evolve. Choose image to evolve. Okay, we choose this one to evolve. Oops. Okay. Oh, yeah. This I don't know how to do. I guess it's going to evolve. I'm new to this as well, you know. Oh, okay. And so here, this is moving faster than it usually does. Is this half monster, half Persian cat? Not really. It's just all Persian cat. Okay. How's this one doing? Ugh, painful. And this one is the same thing. Can we evolve this at all? Now I'm going to try something new with this one. Unreal reality, cohesive, produces dreamlike images, more abstract. Great for artistic and product renders. We'll try this one. And I'm going to flip this one around. Half cat, half monster. And see if we have to add a style. Pop art. Okay. Done. Create. We'll see the better. This one was scary. Now we'll go back to this. Oh, this is, I just think I should give up. Now, this one isn't costing me any credits so far. It's not asking me to pay any money. It's just letting me keep re-rolling this image until we get something that's acceptable. Half Persian, half monster cat. Painting in queue. It can take 2 minutes to render your artwork. I got that message yesterday, and it took 24 hours. Try another style. We were using steampunk, I guess, right? Malevolent. Yeah, this is just Night Cafe is not something that I'm really understanding. It's just a little bit confusing for me. Oh, this is even worse. Oh. Painting in progress. Join Discord. We could if we wanted to, but I'm not sure we do. I'm giving up on this. And this is still going. So, while that goes, I will say thank you for joining this wonderful show today. If you have any questions or concerns or thoughts you'd like to share, please email me, david@bowles.tv. On Twitter, I'm at David Bowles. Super follows to follow. On Facebook, so far, I am BOLES. On Instagram, nowhere. They removed me for no reason. On TikTok, I'm Bowles TV. And hey, if you want the links from today's show, more information about what's going on, I invite you to join our Discord server. Come and say hi, play around with some AI art. It's all there waiting for you right now today. So, we will refresh this page, and I will say to you, oh boy, it's really painful. I will say to you, I hope you have a great day, a nice nap, a good meditation. And when you shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy and none of these really awful, awful, strange cats. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for being here.